What's up, fam bam? What's up, guys? I know a lot of you have been excited to see this whole MSI showing. We will certainly do it tomorrow. I got to speak with a lot of them, a lot of the reps today. Unfortunately, we were unable to get a chance to go live. I did manage to get a lot of coverage for it. Definitely a lot of 4K footage out there for everybody that wants to check it out a bit more. Currently, I'm working on the ASUS footage. I know a lot of you have been certainly anticipating, especially for those who are waiting for new motherboards, new GPUs, and of course, new displays and so much more. And personally, to me, one of my favorite things I have to say I'm really excited about is the whole new ROG glasses, where you can practically look through and take advantage of a full 178-inch display without needing a battery. You just simply plug it into any USB-C and you're pretty much good to go. I certainly am excited for the different displays that we will certainly catch up on. We will definitely cover a bit more. We will go once again live at the whole ASUS floor tomorrow, as I plan to, for those who are curious. And did I see the, no, not yet. I didn't get to see it, LSG. I didn't get a chance. I was mostly doing a lot of coverage over at ASUS. We went back to Gigabyte to cover them as well live. Wanted to get a bit more footage for everybody out there. And I got some on MSI, but more so on the actual camera itself. Unfortunately, there is some mishaps. I lost one of my pieces of equipment during the show. LSG can tell you how crazy it could get. Morning, Chris, just getting ready for work as it's 4:20 a.m. and oh yeah, I bet it's probably really early for some of you guys. But yeah, LSG can definitely tell you it's quite crazy. But yeah, my little equipment that I usually use for live, I apparently lost it. I had no chance of finding it, but it's no problem. In fact, of course, all we can do is adapt. And of course, I'll still be able to do lives. It's just not the way exactly how I wanted to. I'll just have to physically hold the phone in my hand. It's only 9:29. Yes, it's really it's not too late here. I did want to update you guys, so I do apologize for those who were waiting for the MSI showing. We will certainly make it happen tomorrow. I did again manage to get a lot of footage for those who are interested, especially in the MSI Lightning. Man, that thing's dope. I gotta say, that is some amazing. That's like an amazing 5090. I can imagine how expensive it's gonna be. It has a large LS. Yes, yeah, I agree. I gotta air tag everything I have. Just get some some tape and just like wrap it right around. I've lost so many. Yeah, you know, the funny thing, it's so easy to lose things at CES because you're literally putting things down. Just to show you guys, I'm kind of working to share with you. I'm working on the footage now on the on ASUS's showroom floor, as I'm definitely excited. So I'll just scrub through the timeline real quick just to give you a good indication of what I have so far. And this is just mostly, this is everything that's going to be there. And I'm definitely going to share it live. I'll make sure this airs as soon as possible, practically. I'll push it out there for you guys. But this is the whole Kojima project, which was pretty dope. Did you manage to get info from ASUS? How did? Yes, I did. And in fact, I will personally talk to you about that. I will message you once I get the chance. I'm sorry that I couldn't reach all my messages or comments. I do apologize. Still working on reaching to everybody out there. But I do got you, Amir. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. If anybody does have any questions, feel free to ask. And while I'm here, we can take advantage of all the sources that we do have from any company that you would like to hear. Currently, I'm using Premiere. Technically I use both. I like DaVinci a bit more when it comes to the whole color grading side, but right now I'm currently using Premiere. Just because it's just a bit easier because of the cloud services. But if you don't have to use Premiere, don't use it. Honestly, it's a lot of money for anybody to end up using something like Premiere. But Yeah, and also MSI, I gotta say, it's been quite interesting for the showing. I know some of you have asked about the X870 MSI carbon refresh. They did certainly have it on the floor. Unfortunately, they didn't have it bare. They had a kit hooked up to it. They had their new AIO that was hooked up to it. That large LCD displays, that certainly seems to be a big thing currently for a lot of these CPU coolers. What tech do you see that is something you'll be buying once they come out for the next build? To be honest, I have to kind of review everything all over again. But personally, I think one of the things that certainly does attract me is the ASUS, the new ASUS refresh boards and Neos, because the fact that you don't have to have all those extra connections you don't need, like the AIO pump, or you don't need the fan pump, fan headers to really use for the AIO. You could just use the quick connect and you're pretty much good to go. I certainly do like that a lot. Have you been to NVIDIA's booth? No, not yet. I will though. I will. I'm gonna still be here, of course, for the next few days. Unfortunately, I spoke to quite a few people I know. Some people are leaving out as soon as tomorrow. But this time I've been a bit more thorough when I've been going through the booths, just so I can grab as much information for you guys. I'm doing it more as like a walkthrough, as many of you have requested to see, like as if you were at CES, compared to just like pretty much a, how do I say, just like a briefing over all the products. But I'm certainly excited to show you guys what ASUS does offer. I do really like those extra glasses, though. It's certainly one of my favorite things, I gotta say. I think that's what it would be. Like, that's one of the top things, along with the ASUS Neo board. Gigabyte is quite exciting with their X3D boards as well. I think they came out with a great product. And personally, I think the Arrow Wood's actually growing on me. So project, I know Wasabi would probably kill me for saying that, but it is. I mean, it does look pretty awesome. I know a lot of you guys saw it too, right? Have you been in on the 40 and 50 series or 20? Oh, okay. So it does naturally. Anything with any predated products like 20 or 30 series, they just won't have the tech that's built in there to be able to keep up with something like that. And now, if there's anything you guys would personally love to see, I did pass by iBuyPower, Thermaltake, Height. They were all there. Haven't had a chance to really walk through the floor just quite yet. I heard Fantex is there, and I even saw, I don't know where exactly. We got lucky today because we got some RTX 6. Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. And got RTX 6. Really? That's pretty insane. That was really dope of them, I gotta say. Did they just give it to you guys? That's pretty amazing that they did. That just shows you the confidence NVIDIA does have. And apparently they have enough confidence to not really worry about memory because they're... It's funny. It's like almost like an inside joke about this whole thing, I gotta say. But I heard one of the companies, like I think it was Patriot or SK Hynix, Wi-Fi 8. It's not technically, it's not really announced. Wi-Fi 8 isn't. It's, of course it's going to come out. There's always going to be a new version of something, right? Not even everybody has Wi-Fi 7. I'm still on Wi-Fi 6E, so unfortunately, you can never catch up with tech, and that's the reality of things. Wi-Fi 8 is still very experimental. They are currently working on it, as it still uses the 320 megahertz band, similar to what Wi-Fi 7 does, but it just improves on that aspect where it can have a bit more reach. And you can also use the Wi-Fi mesh to get much more stable connection instead of any type of drop. That is what they're trying to eliminate the most out of it, and it's not even expected for 2026. So even though you guys saw the Wi-Fi 8, don't anticipate it being released sometime this year. More than likely, if it does end up releasing, it'll end up releasing within the next year. Yes, yeah, pretty much. It's at that point, it's funny, right? You would think they would just call it like Wi-Fi 7E. It would make a bit more sense in my personal opinion. But with anything, it has to sound great, so they gotta add the extra number 8. I gotta say, that's a pretty quick movement because, I think most people are still on Wi-Fi 6 or even Wi-Fi 6E. Not everybody has Wi-Fi 7. If you do, you might have it in one source, but you might not have it in another. For example, many people don't usually get a router. They'll end up getting it from their ISP, and their ISP will, they won't have the newest of the new at all times. So, but in most cases, Wi-Fi 8, don't expect it to happen in 2026. That's going to happen within probably like a whole nother year. If you guys got questions about Razer, I also been to their booth. I got to show a bit more on the Razer side. It's just, I got so much content to produce. It's really hard to produce all myself here. Yes. And you know, the crazy thing about that whole Cat 12, it was kind of like Intel kind of introduced it a little bit when it came to the whole AI server side. And when they mentioned the whole AI servers, no, I'm sorry, not Intel. It was AMD. They actually brought it up where it was a combination of things that tried to have everything in synchrony. So that way they are able to get practically the fastest AI network out there possible. So that's hence one of the reasons why Ethernet had to have the whole improvement when it came to Cat 12. What's up, Kim Chi? Yeah, so if any of you guys do have any questions about any specific brands, displays, motherboards, there's certainly plenty to digest. A lot of you may not be looking for the whole situation. I've asked multiple vendors. Let me see who's all in here real quick, guys. Because okay, perfect. Okay, so is there? I certainly asked that question, Rottweiler dude, and I can say with certainty. Well, I can say, let's just say that there's ideas of it. There is ideas of implementing it. Reason being, every manufacturer right now certainly does know the issues with RAM. I haven't got to speak to SK Hynix yet. It's pretty funny. LSG got to speak to them. I would love to speak with them tomorrow anyway, and I think I can speak with Newegg tomorrow, in fact, too. But anyway, going over there, there is indications that there is going to be some AM4 boards that are possibly coming out due to the factor of everything that's been going on with RAM. So the thing is, nothing's on display yet, and if they do plan on coming out, they're probably going to wait on it for just a little bit, because more than likely a lot of these manufacturers are just waiting to see if it somehow gets resolved within early first quarter. But if it doesn't, then that's more than likely when you're going to see it in, say, like about maybe like quarter 2 to quarter 3, if you were to get an AM4 board just kind of as a backup. But I gotta say, it's really interesting. Like some of the ideas that some of these brands are planning to have can certainly bring in like fresh ideas when it comes to if you want to do a PC build. And some of the ideas that they have, some people may be opposed to it. But I want to say a lot more about it, but I feel like it makes sense, but for some people it might not make as much sense. So I'm just tagging along. It's really my really that's funny. So LSG is like he's like practically the bodyguard. But that's pretty awesome though. You got to get to see everything in action. But as you've seen, CES has been quite the amazing show. And as you know, it's super dry here. It's insane that I end up losing one of my pieces, but luckily it wasn't expensive. It wasn't crazy expensive or nothing like that. I could easily get another piece off of Amazon, but I will miss the convenience factor of having it. I feel like I gotta have almost like 2 of everything. I practically do have 2 of everything except that piece, figures, but it figures you lose the one thing that you do need. And for anybody that is out at CES, make sure to drink plenty of water, have some chapstick, and make sure to have some nose spray if like it gets that dry, as you guys do know. But anyway, Speaking of ASUS, Gigabyte, they all have interesting products out there. The RTX 5090 by Gigabyte is quite interesting, especially the Infinity. It's quite massive. It's like a 140 millimeter fan, as you guys seen. And the way it dissipates heat, fortunately not part. That it's funny because I think as I was telling you guys earlier, I did get to meet one of the creators. I didn't get to pick up his name, but he was funny. He was hilarious. He was actually wearing a RAM chain. He actually had RAM all around his neck. I should have took a picture. I didn't. I was talking to one of the reps at the time. What's the coolest thing? Personally, to me, I really like the extra glasses that ASUS has. I think that's a really awesome product, and it's probably not going to be crazy expensive. And the amazing thing about it, you can get it I believe you can get it in prescription as well. So you don't have to even put on glasses if you're using something like the X-Real. You can take it on the go if you're on a flight. If you're just simply just waiting on your car repair or like a flat tire, you could easily put them on and just enjoy the visual experience. All you have to do is hook it up to via your phone, or you can hook it up through your Xbox Ally, or any really USB-C device that's able to display. You can be able to hook it up directly. And the best part is it doesn't really require any internal battery; it just will go off of your power source. So Destiny, what's going on? But personally, to me, that's one of my favorites. The next thing I think another really cool thing to see was the mini RGB was really awesome. The mini RGB has just amazing color. Like, it just stands out. And for more of realistic displays that we will see, the ones that we will see on the market, RGB stripe is amazing. It's quite the tech, actually seeing it. The clarity is incredible. It's almost looking directly just like like when you're looking at IPS display when it comes to text. I've noticed that more brands are putting me effect on the PSU for monitor, the 12 volt. Yes, and that's the thing. MSI has done that, and I'm actually happy they did, because maybe that's going to be more of a step forward. And the more interesting aspect is they actually had a monitor. Now, we all know that it's no secret that MSI has been put on the burner a lot, especially when it comes to the 12 volt high power port. I'm doing great, Destiny. Thanks for coming in. Oh yeah, you got to meet Linus? Yeah, at least you got to meet him. I didn't even get to see him at all, ironically. Not like I did last year. But I will certainly answer that. But the cool thing, real quick, I'm gonna tell you guys that I will definitely hint is that the thing that MSI is working on is a power supply that can regulate the voltage supply. For example, if you're using like RTX 5090 Lightning, and say if one of the pins are getting too hot, it will actually let you know. It even has an internal sound where it'll actually beep, and then when it beeps, it will actually let you know, like, hey, there's a problem here. We're going to end up shutting down in 3 minutes, which it will give you that alert with their new power supplies that will be coming out sometime soon. Another thing that they are also coming out with is for all those overclockers out there that are interested in overclocking, they are also coming out with something that you may be interested, which is completely bypassing the whole error check system. So if you want to just hurry up and check your overclocks easily, you can do that. So what about the 3D monitor? Does it actually look good, or no? It's 100% good. It's actually incredible. Like, when you sit on it. Here's how I can describe it. If anybody has ever played the 3DS, you understand the 3D effect. So the 3D effect is sort of like that. But put it this way, when you're sitting at that 3D monitor, it's almost like you're looking at an image where it has like 100% clarity. Just like if you were to take a photo, something that's in 4K, say for instance, a movie. So when you are looking at it, it actually looks like, it appears that it's like right there in front of you. It's quite amazing. So it's not exactly like a 3DS. It's almost like you're seeing it like literally right in front of your eyes. the way it displays the 3D is just crystal clear. Compared to like a 3DS. 3DS, you do experience the 3D. It looks pretty good, but it's not perfect compared to something like when you compare it to what it is today. I know a lot of you out there are probably like, here we go again, 3D glasses tech. And the funny thing is, it's something that that I've seen at CES before, which was last year. I think it was another company that actually shown it. This other I think it was TCL that had shown something like that, but it wasn't quite refined. It was just like more of the experimental phase. So what about the third monitor? Does it actually look good, or oh, I apologize, I read that one. But yeah, so that's the idea from it. We certainly still got to go to LG. We will go to LG next. I didn't end up seeing them. Yeah, we'll go to LG, and so for tomorrow's itinerary, we'll go back to ASUS so we can kind of live stream everything. Right now, I'll upload all the 4K stuff, and so that way you guys can see everything that you're looking for, whether it's for motherboards, GPUs, when it comes to displays. Same thing with Gigabyte. I'll go over their stuff, and also MSi as well. So I'll post it as soon as tonight for anybody that is interested in seeing it. But I can say for the most part, ASUS had an awesome showing. It was honestly a bit relieving. Didn't have to hear too much AI stuff, because I think I felt like I've heard AI so much as it is already. Of course, it's going to be in everything because it's something that they do obviously want to push out for everybody. Unfortunately, I do have to say this. It's supposed to be a consumer show, and I don't think a lot of consumers out there are very interested in learning about LLMs, but of course it could be a growing market, but I could be completely wrong with something like that. It could continue to grow. But again, it should be more of on the consumer side when it comes to things such as this, like when it comes to like bring back the focus back into like the whole gaming side, because that's what we want to see. We don't want to just see just AI displays, because a lot of people will just honestly have fatigue from it. So I can certainly say that when it comes to the whole side of MSI, I am excited for their whole 12-volt high power ports, like how they have the dual. The MSi Lightning is amazing. The Godlike in person is just wow. I gotta say, just wow. Their case is pretty dope that they have. It's like completely modifiable. ASUS also has a awesome motherboard coming out, which I'm excited for any creators out there that wants to get integration but doesn't want to spend a ton of money. That wants to spend money on, say, like a decent board. They have the ProArt B850 coming out. I think that's going to be quite exciting. It does feature heat sinks like on practically everything now. No longer limited to just on the mid-tier or high-end boards, but they will also have it on. They will just have it on the regular mid-tier boards, to where you don't have to worry about having a heat sink if you have like a secondary M.2 device. Another good thing too about it is the new RTX 5090 that they do have. That is the ProArt. Of course, not everyone's going to want to invest in something like an RTX 5090, but there is an option for it if you guys are interested in that, to match with that motherboard, especially if you want to invest more on a GPU. They also did have a lot of improvements when it comes to the motherboard side, as it does have like the new 64 megabyte BIOS. It seems like that's the big thing. If you notice, that's been quite the pattern for all the motherboards that have been out there from Gigabyte, from ASUS to MSI, is the whole 64 megabyte BIOS is quite prominent. That has been the most notable point for sure. So it kind of gives you an indication that it is important, especially if anybody is thinking of, say, going to Zen 6. But obviously it still doesn't resolve the issues when it comes to the whole RAM. So Destiny asks, have you seen any AI stuff that I liked? The closest thing I probably like is Razer's Ava. I think that was actually decent. I think that was pretty dope. It's like seeing AI coming to life, especially like having to talk to an avatar, doesn't really require much. All you have to do is hook it up USB power, another USB powered device where it doesn't require an external source of power that you can speak to, and you can actually ASUS for. I think so too, and everything is Nitro Path. Just to let you know, everything is Nitro Path in the new ASUS motherboards. I think that is certainly the way to go. And they certainly made it more accessible. You know, the best part, I really do like how ASUS engineered these boards, because what they did was, instead of having a screw, you know, locked down onto the motherboard for the other M.2 devices, you can actually hit the latch and it actually opens up. And the best part is, ASUS wants to make sure that they had contact with the M.2 to make sure it stays cool. You don't want to have any type of gap or spacing when it comes to it. So they ensured that it had just the right pressure to make sure to keep those M.2 drives nice and cool. So I think that is creative in that side. And ASUS does listen, for the fact that they did bring back the release for anybody that is looking to release the GPU in a sense. So they do have the button to release your GPU if that is what you're looking for, that they aren't going buttonless with the whole, with their new motherboards on the refresh. And they even made it a bit more, how can I say, more toolless, which can be more useful for anybody out there that is building a PC or maybe upgrading a motherboard even. So I love the options that they certainly have put out, and I'm certainly excited to see it in action once it is out there. But of course, all companies, once again, like ASUS and MSI and Gigabyte, are all facing issues with the whole Gigabyte thing. I mean, not Gigabyte, with, what am I saying? With the whole RAM situation. So I've asked the question to all three, all three of them, and they pretty much, they all pretty much don't really have true answers for it. I was curious to see the different ideas that a lot of them put out there for sure. But I can say, certainly say, when it comes to motherboards and when it comes to RAM, there's going to, the best thing I can say is it's just going to take time. All we can really do is have patience through this whole situation. All we can do is hope that things certainly get better. Hopefully there is a bit more urgency, as it's not just affecting the PC space, but everything down the line. So with the new ASUS BIOS, will that be an update for the Z890 boards too? More than likely. I'll definitely ask it tomorrow as well. With that new ASUS BIOS, I gotta say that is sick though. I'm excited for that to come out. It's much more intuitive. It's already pretty good as it is, but man, if the way they do it this way, I just feel like the sense of familiarity for everybody out there that has a ASUS board, especially who uses something like Armoured Crate, will go through the BIOS like it's no issue. Especially because it just feels much more integrated in a sense. And it's certainly improved in that side, where even Gigabyte's BIOS is pretty interesting too. The fact that you can like update it, like pretty much like a driver. So, or is it just AMD new to new boards? What I think it's going to be, from what it seems like, I believe, from what we saw that on, was specifically on the X870E refresh Hero Crosshair. And we saw it from that board. More than likely, it's going to be on that board for sure. And I think what they will do, what I think ASUS will do, is they will put it on the boards that are more compatible for this type of BIOS. I believe it's going to require, don't get me wrong, but I'll definitely ask for clarity to make sure that it's going to require at least a 64 megabyte BIOS chip. So that's going to be pretty much crucial when it comes down to it, to have the fluidity and for it to work. But yeah, I gotta say, I think it's something that everybody could use. I really do like their new AIO system. It just makes a ton of sense. So I made a new purchase on sale offer. I'm going to, oh, really? You're going for the Extreme Z890. That's a big jump, Amir. You're going all out, and you're going max overclocking at that point. I think that, to be honest, Amir, I think that does suit you well. You do like to do overclocking. I think that would work very well, especially with your ECC RAM. But I can say if anybody's looking for motherboards, ASUS, Gigabyte, you really can't go wrong. MSI has a decent showing as well. Samsung 990 Pro, one terabyte. Oh, really? You know, I haven't really got to check out pricing recently. Oh, really? So they probably ended up getting it late, right, Rottweiler? I bet they did. They probably realized, like, oh, we're a little bit behind. It's funny too because it's like a lot of PC stores out there are, you know, a lot of PC stores are trying to catch up as well. I use a MSI X870E that I'm happy with for the moment. Hey, nothing wrong with that. The MSI boards are great. They are excellent. And I gave one of the suggestions I had to MSI. Hopefully they hear us out, especially those who have. Oh, what's up, Mr. Rainbow? Good to see you back in. I just wanted to say thank you for. Yeah, no problem. We will continue to show more. See, yes, 5K is the big thing for sure. It's 5K, 6K, 8K, not so much surprisingly, but they want to move on to another resolution. But I can say it is nice and refreshing to see ultra wides actually go up to 5K because we didn't need that, to be honest. That was one of the things I was really hoping for. It has a dual BIOS support setup. Yeah, exactly, and I think that's why it would suit you very well because it gives you a bit more flexibility, and I certainly think you would enjoy it for the most part. And speaking of the whole display and the resolutions, I'm really excited to see what LG has to offer. I'm curious to see how their LG stripes or RGB stripes for their displays. Obviously, Gigabyte and LG teamed up to create that one display. It's quite beautiful for those who are looking into it. It is a tandem OLED monitor, and the best thing about it is it just looks like you're looking at straight up glass. It looks like you're looking out the window. That's how clear it is. And the best part, it's only like $600, especially for anybody out there that's looking for a decent upgrade that isn't going to break the bank. So I can say for those who are willing to take the leap and go on full out OLED, it is a game changer. So it is worth an upgrade, especially if you're looking for top clarity and color. So Amir says I paid 700 British pounds for. Oh wow, that's pretty insane. Normally, yeah, because usually I know it's way more than that. I originally I thought you were just talking about the Hero because that's like more around the Hero pricing, right, Amir? Like 700 British pounds. 1100 sounds a bit more around the ballpark for like a Max, the top end ROG board there. But yeah, everybody doesn't have to be like Amir again. The top end, he is definitely more of the serious overclockers. But I know for sure he will definitely make the most out that board. Have you also thought about like even because right now you're in the 285K. If Intel ends up coming out with the 290K, I bet you would definitely take upon that option and want to upgrade your board then. 500. Oh, okay. So it's 500 British pounds then for the Hero. Okay. Because I always thought it was because I know in USD it's a bit closer to about for the Hero for Intel like about 600. Yeah. But the AMD board I think it's a bit more. I think it's 700. So so funny. And I do have to say, for you guys out there, that are interested in upgrading. 290, yes. I kind of figured you would go towards that direction. The 290K seems like that will it still have hope for Intel. I think Intel's going to do well. I think the i3 is going to be decent. Hey, I mean, the new i3 I think is pretty impressive. But the thing I thought at the display when I heard their whole keynote, which I thought was pretty hilarious, was when they talked about XeSS3 and how it can push 3 frames for everyone. I was thinking, doesn't that sound a bit familiar? What's up, AMD? Man, good to see you. But yeah, this show has been exhausting. As you can tell, like I've pretty much like nearly lost my voice from all the talking. But I gotta say, at least it was still quite an exciting show. I'm happy that we got to see some decent products that some of us have been looking for, especially for those who are looking to build a PC, upgrade a PC. Yes. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I practically met like everybody you can think of. The only person I didn't see was Linus or Steve. I didn't see them too here. Yeah, I know. I do. I feel like I need a vacation. I absolutely need one. It feels like I've been working 24/7. But I want to definitely spread out as much coverage. Definitely, I'll bring some help next time. Oh, I bet. LSG. I gotta take your advice. The next time I'm gonna pack some honey and tea. But luckily there's like I think there's a Starbucks in this hotel too. I don't know if it's open at this hour though. Some of them are open, some of them are not. You know how Vegas can be. And I feel like the thing about Vegas, like you go out at a certain time, it's a bit shady. So yeah, but I gotta say, it's been quite a entertaining show. I haven't still been to the main floor, believe it or not. I haven't been to the convention center yet. How expensive is a CES? Well, it all depends. I mean, it depends on what you're doing or what you're planning to do. It depends on what you spend. Really, I think it honestly varies. It depends person by person on what their habits are. Again, it depends if you eat often. And for me personally, I haven't really got to eat as much as I would want to, and I want to actually eat. But I've been eating at like some terrible like places I shouldn't really eat to just kind of keep energy going. Like I ate at ILY at like 4:30, and I haven't really ate since then. So my diet has been just completely terrible. Yeah, I haven't seen them. Have you got to see everybody else though? Did you get to meet any other influencers at least? Especially for events like CES, I'm sure they mark up the prices at restaurants. Yes, just to give you guys an idea of how expensive it is. I think first off, I do have to let everybody know if anybody does end up visiting Vegas, they do charge a tourist tax. Unless you know somebody that lives in Vegas, they can actually get what's called like a citizen discount practically, because if you live here, they can give you, it is, yeah, it's kind of expensive. LSG does make a great point about like the rooms are very expensive, depending on where you stay too. Of course, there's some cheaper ones, but those hotels you kind of don't want to stay in because it's just like outdated like crazy and doesn't feel like sanitary. How do you get so many PC review units? You feel like I get a lot of PC review units? Really? You think so? I honestly feel like I don't get as many review units as I would like to be able to share with everybody. Most of it is still giving back to the community, really. So it's like whatever I get from whatever sources, I just buy whatever products and kind of go off of there, sell it, and then redo it practically. And so it's nothing too crazy. But if you are interested in review units, I would say like the best thing you can do is attempt to contact the brands or wait for the brands to contact you. That's what I would say. But do you still have the Aorus 5090? It works. Yeah, there's no problem. Did you just come out that video? I'm assuming you probably just watched that video and probably just are curious about it. But yeah, the Aorus Master is perfectly fine. There's no issues with it. It's been great. And the more interesting thing is that that's something I should have asked them, actually. I think they did mention it, but on their new Infinity, that they changed the type of the type of thermal gel that they are using in it. And, but yeah, I'm excited to get this ASUS video out to you guys for sure. There's a lot of, yes, it's really unnecessary. There is a lot of hate to Gigabyte. And I'll tell you what though, they do listen to everybody out there. Any of the brands really listens for feedback. So if you do have any specific concerns, feel free to address it. Like Amir had addressed he asked his concern, I got the answer, and I will share it with him. But again, like if anybody has any specific concerns about like a product design, feel free to share it, because the only way to fix a problem is by knowing what it is. If you have a problem and you don't say what the problem is, or you just share online what the problem is, it doesn't really help fix the issue. So it's really important to address the problems, so that way it doesn't happen again. That's the biggest issue. So if anyone does have a concern, feel free to share it, and I will certainly bring it up. Just like a simple even design, I brought this up to MSI for an idea. I feel like this would work great. For example, like the X870E MSI carbon motherboards. Everybody loves those motherboards. And I feel like the biggest flaw in it, when it comes to it, is that it has no backplate. A lot of people look for a backplate because they don't want to ground out the motherboard. And if they just have an addition to where if you want a backplate for purchase, that you can go ahead and do so. Room full of PCs. I did have a room full of PCs, but but it's just you know how that is. It just goes it just goes like practically in and out, and it's always just like pretty much like flow. It just goes in and out. I have been a long-time ASUS fan, but I'm thinking of getting some MSI products this year. Oh, really? Which products are you thinking of getting? Out of curiosity. But I gotta say, ASUS, it's been awesome. I don't think they've like shown any real negativity. I feel like they constantly have been innovating some new things for sure. I think a lot of you guys will certainly enjoy. But again, personally to me, I love the X-Real. I think the Pro Art's a nice addition for anybody who just wants to get into the creativity side of things. But I can certainly say, like, when it comes to those who do want to create, have you built any BTF pieces? You know, that's on the way, actually. That's something I am working on. So I am, I actually spoke to ASUS about that, and certainly waiting for that line to come in. So at least the motherboard and possibly a GPU. Oh, okay. So if you're thinking of do you know which motherboard you're interested in? Out of curiosity. I just wanted to, I get it. That makes sense, because you want to try another manufacturer to see how it is. Are you worried about the thermal component? Not really. To be honest, I feel like, I think that was overblown. I think they got slammed for no reason, to be honest, when it came to that. And so far, I haven't really heard any real issues about it. So the good thing is, it was definitely one of those things where it was blown out of proportion. It just went out of control, and it's just, it turned into a beast, unnecessary beast, where it just continuously spreads infamously online. So yeah, certainly don't worry about that claw low. Hopefully I said it correctly. The first batches, yes, mostly the first batches. In the MSI motherboard, do you recommend a lot of thermal putty on those units, but now it's fine? Yeah, They've been switching it out too. I don't think they're going with the whole thermal gel side anymore because of what they heard. Honestly, I feel bad on that side because they did try to use a server grade thermal gel to help it keep cool. And also, I may add for anybody that is interested in ASUS boards, they did add it to up to server grade, so it actually prevents like the sound, like pretty much like vibrations, like when it comes from like if you're using your RAM, for example, or like your NVMe, it actually reduces it, so that way it keeps it nice and balanced for the most part. But so for Mr. Rainbow and the MSI motherboard, what do I recommend? So for the MSI side, I highly recommend the Carbon series. If you are thinking of getting an MSI board, I'm assuming you're looking something more mid-tier. I think that would be the perfect motherboard for many people out there that's in between gamer and creator. For other motherboards, like say if you're more interested in something like a bit lighter, you want like more of a budget build, the Tomahawk's a great option. They did end up redesigning it pretty decently. They got rid of a lot of green because they heard that the green got a lot of hate. So it's less green, but it's still apparent, like slightly apparent, not as much, when it comes to the MSI Tomahawk Wi-Fi 2 refresh. ASRock boards, I think they're decent. DLSS, I know. I don't even want to bother talking about the whole NVIDIA. I know it's a real thing, but it just, my head's going to explode if I hear any more AI talk when it comes to it. I'm sure many of you are pretty much tired of it, but welcome in. Great way to start an evening. But yes, 6 fake frames. Not a lot of big people are fans of that. I mean, most people who do have a RTX 50 series, that's like a 5080 or 5090, aren't enjoying it. They're not using it anyway. AMD cards are raw performance if you don't use, I agree, it has better raster, like when it does come to AMD. Again, like compared to all the GPUs I've used, I feel that if you are looking for a card that's meant for gaming, specifically for gaming, I would say the RX 9070 XT would satisfy many people's needs. And I gotta say, I do like the product that MSI had brought up, which was the RTX 5070 Ti, the one with the plate on it, where you can actually hide your cables, kind of similar to like the Nitro Plus, but it was on their Project Zero board. On the Project Zero board, I think it was a nice addition. It would match it. They're not doing anything similar to like what ASUS does, like when it comes to the whole with their own connector and everything. You have the 9060 XT. No problem, Rainbow. I think you would certainly like it. And if also, let me throw this in there too, if you're interested in like a more like say higher tier board, I won't say godlike because that's insanely expensive. And you gotta be like an overclock freak to really enjoy a godlike motherboard. But I can say that you might also enjoy the MSI Ace. That's another motherboard that you certainly like. It's solid, and it does have that metal backplate too. If you are looking for a MSI board where it does have it, so I would certainly say you can take a look at that. AMD, I have the 9060 XT. Oh, okay, awesome. How do you like it, Ant-Man? So if I spend 4K on the 5090, I expect to have the minimum of 10 years of peak performance. Yes. As I tell everybody who does have like a 5090, if you want to enjoy a 5090, honestly, most people aren't going to hit 32 gigabytes on it unless you get the 6K 3D monitor. Then maybe you'll start to challenge it. Or you go crazy and get the Pimax. And that's something we're going to test out too. I think on Thursday we have an appointment with them, which is 8K per optic, which is pretty insane. I was waiting for the 9080 XT, but I'm pretty disappointed with that. You know, it was painstakingly really painful. It was cool to see Lisa Su, of course, but It just sucks that they didn't introduce the slide of the 9850X 3D. We were all expecting it, and we are like, well, where is it? Like right when that whole gaming segment came up, you're like, okay, where is it at? Like, what happened? Like right when she said like, how many gamers are out there? Like you expected that whole slide to come out, and it didn't. And that's why I had to make that whole video I did yesterday about saying they did exactly what the exact reason why they succeeded at what they do best, which is not showing anything, not even a processor. I mean, how can they really mess up that badly? It makes me never want to go to an AMD keynote anymore, to be honest, at that point. I'm just going to go through the slides and that's it. Because at that point, it's like the keynote's pointless. It turned into everything AI. So it's good. I upgraded from a 4060 8GB. Now that's my backup card. Awesome. I'm glad you did. I think it's a great, honestly, the 9060 is solid too. For anyone that wants to say like, oh, ultra wide, I think it's a great option. Have you had any meetings? No, not specifically. I haven't got to speak to Intel reps. I'm going to make sure to throw into my calendar. I'm starting to get into a spot like where I can have a little bit more flexibility, thank gosh. I've been just so swamped with everything. I'm surprised there's not too many Razer questions out there. I think some of the stuff they're coming out with is pretty awesome. Like Project Motoko is dope. Project Dave is amazing. And they have this new seat I think a lot of you would like, Project Madison. It's still a prototype, but it's pretty dope. Like it really does bring you into the game if you guys check it out, which I will work on, but I think the priority right now certainly is ASUS, because I know a lot of you are looking at motherboards and GPUs. So can you make motherboard tier? Yeah, sure. I'll work on one. If you guys want one, I'll do one for each brand. And I'll tell you which ones I think are certainly the ones to go for and which ones are, depending on what you're looking for, whether you're a gamer or creator, certainly can be done. I still have the RTX 4070 Ti, super good. I actually don't like it. It's been really good for 4K gaming. I don't like to play with the new AAA games. And that's a big thing. There's a lot of games out there. It all depends on what type of games that you're really gaming on. What's the point of buying an expensive? Yeah, exactly. That point made. Yeah, there's no point. On Nova Lake, Amir says no. Let me go back. Apologize, Amir. On Nova Lake or Our Lake refresh time frame release. Now Panther Lake has been released. What's today? The 6th? Yeah, today's the 6th. Panther Lake has been released today. That's officially been released. It's on any laptop you can certainly look for. Now they improved on the various designs. They've improved the internal GPU. So practically the APU is awesome. If you want to take it on to the go for laptop usage, up to 27 hours of usage. You can even use it to game on the go. And they did kind of hint on a gaming handheld that they are working with. And I think a lot of us can guess who it's going to be. Personally, to me, it's not a hard guess. It's I think I know who they're going to go with on the gaming handheld, but it's not just announced quite yet. It's going to be announced sometime in Q2. So what's the point of even buying an got to that. So AMD says, I seen a video where the team overclocked the CPU so much they had to float with you know what? I think I did see that. That was one of it's funny because it was with one of the guys I know too. I got to meet him yesterday. His name just slipped my mind. Said that I have the EVGA RTX 2060. And it's alright, but my brothers push its performance as they both have 3D animations, so I'm thinking of Ultimate Gift. 59. Oh, what? Ultimate Gift is a 5090 budget for me. What? That's not a budget. That's quite insane. Especially as we all know that the 5090 is not no regular budget PC. Sad that half the budget goes, yeah. Well, you know where half the budget goes now. It goes to RAM. It's nearly impossible to even get your hands on it. You know what the funny thing is, like, you would never look at it before. When you look at these PC builds, now you just look at it like, man, how much RAM is that? And there's been times like where you look at the RAM and you're like, you're thinking like, holy crap, you know how much that is? That's like 256 gigabytes of RAM right there. You know how much that's worth? That's worth more than a 5090 that's sitting in there. But yeah, unfortunately, I feel like it's more RAM now than GPU. GPU, you have a fighting chance. That used to be I feel like the almost normal. That was like almost like the normal part. You know that GPUs are going to be expensive. But now it's like, now you have to certainly worry about the whole RAM situation. And RAM again, and it's still very real, unfortunately. But I will certainly try to pull answers. And the answers that I have been getting, a lot of people are not happy to speak about the subject, as it's not very positive on the most part. It's still up in the air. Even in the tech insider trade, nobody's really saying much about it. Yes, PC parts is the new Wall Street with AI, practically. RAM, again, is like the new currency. You just want to get a 5090, just bring 64 gigabytes of memory, and you're good, especially if it's at CL26. So, will there be a new age of integrated? I think so. Integrated graphics is certainly on their way. I think they're certainly getting stronger. Maybe we'll end up phasing out of GPUs eventually, but I think it's still going to end up taking some time if that's the case, if it does happen. It's just the ease of access. It's no longer necessary to hook up an external source of power, especially for graphical power. Eventually, we want to go a bit more portable and a bit more ease. Imagine building a short form factor PC. That doesn't require a graphics card. And you have an APU that can power exactly for what your needs are. It's certainly still plausible. It's very plausible. In fact, we got to try out Intel Panther Lake, and that was quite the beast. Even though the settings were all on auto, but you had a good indication of what it looks like if you were to go fully integrated graphics. But it is possible, and we are certainly getting closer to that age. But as of now, of course, external GPUs are always going to remain king, especially for those who want to really push their PC. For those who really don't care about high quality textures, shaders. Yes, I do actually have Linux on a couple of my devices. Really, technically, Bakelite would be the ROG Xbox Ally. I decided to keep that on there. And I've used it on AMD's RX 9070 XT build. I've used Linux on there, and I kept it on there. But I feel that is certainly the age where people are certainly interested in. A lot of questions about it. Great for anybody that has patience. If you don't have patience, Linux isn't going to be great for you, especially if you don't want to work on figuring out how to do certain aspects. Even just like going into a certain application that requires you to understand how to open it. Because the terminal is certainly going to be your best friend if you do go Linux. So I said this before, but I think the mid-range or even budget PCs will deter the new gaming community. To come out, I believe that it's very hard for people to get budget PCs. I agree. At this point, a budget PC means that you're going to have to spend practically a new minimum, especially the way RAM is. A budget PC really does mean you're going to spend at least a minimum of maybe $1,500, and that's like a decent budget, but it still could be done. Yet many people love Linux because it is bare bones, and rightfully so. There's not a lot of back end to it, similar to what Windows does. I mean, Windows loves to destroy things, such as SSDs. But anyway, I think that's the biggest problem with Windows and why people are getting tired of it. As we've all seen, even at CES, we've seen a lot of Copilot partner with companies as they're really trying to make that a push. And Microsoft, it doesn't seem like they're changing their stance on it. They have a lot of development behind their Windows updates via AI, and I believe they want to keep it that way. They have a lot of faith in it. And as I was saying earlier, if you guys heard me speak on the whole factor of AI, even though it gives you wrong answers, people still will rely on it. It's pretty funny, right? It's just imagine if a human does that. Even though they give you wrong answers, you still rely on that person. But in reality, like if you have a person like that, you're never going to pull answers from them because you feel that they're not going to be reliable. But it's funny, when it comes to AI, you feel like you can trust it just because the source is coming from the internet. So, but speaking of that factor, I will end up finishing up this production here so I can push out the ASUS video for you guys. The internet isn't great, so it might end up getting pushed out in the middle of the night out of nowhere. I do apologize for that. I'm only getting like 5 megabits, I think. And I do use a VPN and everything at the hotel, which I highly suggest everyone to do too. Use a VPN. It's insane that the 5090s are being sold out everywhere. My local Best Buy, Micro Center, yeah. Like I was telling everybody, if you need a GPU, especially like an RTX 5090, something that has high VRAM usage, get it. Get it immediately. Even if you don't want it, just get it. Because you're going to end up, if you're going to end up profiting, to be honest. Like if anybody does happen to get a 5090, I think that it's going to go up quite significantly. It's no secret that they did mention that they're going to end up cutting production on a lot of the 5070 Ti's and 5080s. So the 7900 XTX is around 860 at Best Buy. Oh, awesome. It makes sense to get it. Man, I just don't get AMD. It still pisses me off though. It really does. Like they could have threw a 24 gigabyte VRAM card in. I think people would be happy with it, especially in 9080 XTX. Just imagine, it would sell. But that just shows you that everyone is chasing the dollar at this point. A lot of people forget that they don't believe everything you see on it. I know. And the funny thing is, anybody can pull this experiment. All you have to do is create enough word of it on the internet. For example, say, for example, that you can eat glass, right? Just almost like Google, how they said you could eat rocks, right? Everybody quickly forgot that. But anyway, say everyone says, yeah, you can eat glass because it apparently makes you stronger. Some BS like that. If you get enough people to say it, AI will just spew it out like if it's the truth. And that's the problem with it currently. There's not really a filter for that to see if it's really, truly factual. So, again, a big issue when it comes to, that's the biggest issue and the biggest hurdle when it comes to AI. I think if Windows and Microsoft would adopt Google Gemini into computers, I think it would have been I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Apple has made a deal with Google Gemini. It was a little while ago that they did, but obviously Apple's intelligence isn't so smart as you've seen, especially for those who use Siri. It just feels like it got progressively worse. It's just going down terribly. But Fan Bam guys, I do appreciate everybody for coming into the stream and for this update. Tomorrow we'll get into a bit more ASUS and MSi as we will take a look, and feel free to ask questions. And if you're excited to see any type of products, feel free to share. I will make sure to jot it down into my calendar as we will take a deeper dive and take a look at everything. Apologize for the awkward timing, but for anybody out there that, especially on the East Coast side, I know it's really late for you guys. And those in Europe, I know it's really early in the morning. really weird timing probably. But thank you guys all for coming into the stream, as we will continually give updates throughout the whole CES coverage. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show so far. And again, feel free to subscribe, follow, and make sure to join in on Discord, especially for those who want to get some information. And also, for those who aren't part of the roundtable, make sure to join. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I do appreciate it. Have a great day.